Business, a person's occupation, profession, or trade. Connection, a relationship in which a person or idea is linked or associated with something else. Welcome to Business Connection. Each week, our program will offer inspiration to navigate the business world. Information you can use to succeed in any field. And we will help you focus on your goals. Join us now for Business Connection with your host, BC Clark.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm your host, BC Clark. And as you know, this is the Business Connection. I have been recording business owners since 2014. And I have to tell you, it is so invigorating for me. I love being able to talk with them, hear about some of the struggles that they've had, but also some of the things that they've learned in their journey of being a business owner. I thought today I would just kind of say thank you to all those business owners that have come into the studio, that have shared their experiences, that have shared a lot of their woes, as you would say, but also that gave good insight on some of the things that they had experienced so that you wouldn't have to do that. So I just want to say thank you to all those business owners, over 700 that I've interviewed between now, since 2014 until now. And I'm always very, very thankful that they're willing to come in and share, because that information, a lot of times that they're sharing, is information that you can use to put you in a better position as you go out on this journey of entrepreneurship. I have been in this community for a long time, and I think that sometimes, as business owners, we make decisions based on the things that we feel are right, or things that maybe we don't have all the information. And so a lot of times that comes from us trial and error, and that's normal. That is normal. We don't always have everything we need to get started. We don't always have everything we need, or someone we can go to, or we can have resources that we can pay for, especially when we're first starting out as an entrepreneur. But what I want to tell you is one good thing that I think we all should understand as business owners is that don't be afraid to get started, but prepare. I say that because if we can prepare before we jump into anything, a lot of times we can have a backup plan that we can fall back on if things don't work out initially. So what do I mean, prepare? Well, if I'm thinking that I want to start a business, and say I want to start that business within a year, okay? What are some of the things that you think you should do to prepare yourself to get ready for that? Now, there are some things that you can really do, right, that you should be doing. Actually, once you've decided that you want to do this, research the industry. Collect the analysis data, the market analysis data. Look at your competitive analysis out there as well. Check and see if this is something that is going to be viable, right, going forward. Because if you're just jumping into the arena right now in that industry, where would you land? Would there be any market share for you to jump in, depending on where you are, depending on what that industry is? And so you want to do that type of research to really identify what's available, what's out there, and does this trend that you want to in this industry, is it going to get better and better as time goes on? Or is there reports that say this is a dying field, this is not going to make money, you've probably made the most money? And if you look at, there's several reports you can look at. IBIS is one of them, IBIS report. You'll have to probably pay for it if you don't know someone that already gets that report. But it talks about all of the industries. It talks about, the market analysis. It talks about the trends for that industry. It talks about the financial pieces of that industry. It gives you great insight on getting started in that particular industry. Now, there's other things you need to do as well, because if you're planning on having an online business, there's certain things for that online business. If you're planning on opening up a storefront, obviously there's opportunities and there's different things you'll need to do to prepare for that. And if you don't have money to start your business, then what is that funding coming from? Is it from your own personal assets that you've already saved up for? hopefully, or are you going to have to go to a lender, family, and friends, whatever that might look at. You need to prepare for all of that, okay? If it is a business that, like for instance, if you're consulting or if you're going to be working with other organizations, what does that look like? Do I need a space? Do I need an office? Will a co-working space work better than trying to get a full-fledged building to run this operation? So a lot of questions should be on your pad that you need to answer before you just jump. And I'm telling you that because I have recently been involved with a couple of individuals who have some co-working space, and the problem that they're having is people are following their business. So they say, I have a LLC. They haven't done any networking, so you'll find out where I'm at right now. And then they go and they reserve space. They pay for space for a month or what have you. And then they wait for people to come in. Well, if you haven't done any networking, if you haven't done any advertising, there's no communication, how do you really expect them to just walk in your door because you've started your business? They may not know that you've even started a business. And so some practical things I think would be really helpful for someone starting out. You know, of course, do your research and on your industry. Really be able to write out whatever that idea that you have for starting that business. Write out the vision for that. You know, if you write it on paper, you can begin to see it. Write a mission statement for that business as well. So you want to have a vision, you want to have your mission statement, and some people say, oh, I don't do all that, I just started my business. And a lot of times, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know how to get there, then nothing happens. And normally when I see someone that tells me that, I always say, okay, I don't try to, but I always see that they're still in the same place. You see, the vision talks about where you're going, okay? The mission says how you're going to get there. So without those two things, you don't have like a map or anything to even begin to write out your business plan, okay? So if you have an idea, write a vision for that idea. You know, I want to be the #1 premier, whatever that is that you plan to be, you know, in this area, or in the state of Nebraska or Iowa, whatever that might be, right? And then how do I get there? Well, it's going to be by providing X, Y, and Z. Okay? And then expounding on that a little bit. And then the next thing you want to do is write out the description for that business. All right? So there you've gotten, if you've done that, now you have something you can begin to start looking at, something you can begin to start collecting data on and saying, okay, so if I'm going to do this, this is my vision, but this is what I need in order to make that, this is the mission I need to be working on to make that happen. And don't worry about trying to scale when you're just starting a business. Please, come on now, let's just get this in the right position. Let's follow the steps that you need to follow. Every step you take, there is insight, there is encouragement, there is opportunity. So if you jump over a step or two, you've missed out some opportunities, you've missed out, things you could have learned. So don't try to be in a hurry when you're trying to start this, unless you put in like 2 or 3 years of really studying this business that you want to start, unless you have collected a lot of data and you really understand the industry, you see that the trend is that sales are going to go up in this industry. If you've written some preparation steps, then I would say let's move forward cautiously, but making sure that every step that you're taking, you're fully understanding what's needed on that step, and you complete that step before you go to the next step. Because every step is designed to help you so that when you launch, everything is in place. And so I think it's really important for you to take the time to understand what's needed. So if you put all those things in place, now is the time for you to start networking. And most people say, well, I can do that when I get into business. But basically, you want to do it ahead of time. And I say that if you're 6 months out from launching or a year out, that is the prime time to start going out and talking to people, not telling them everything, but say, I'll be launching pretty soon. This is the name of my business. You don't have to tell them everything about it. You can also, since you know the name of your business, you have an email address, you can pass out cards, right? And you can accept cards from people that you meet on this journey. You never know who will need your services. You never know if you have something that someone else needs. So the networking becomes really important. I'll tell you something that I experienced. I worked with a client. She came to me when she was about a year and a half before she would launch her business. And we went through a lot of the things, for probably the first month, we went and make sure we had all the data that we understood, that she could lay everything out. And she had done quite a bit of data on her own. So I told her, I said, well, now that we have all of this in place, we can start networking. And she said, oh. She said, well, what do I say? I said, let's work on that elevator pitch. An elevator pitch, it can be 6 words, right? It just depends on what you're trying to give out, what message you're trying to get to the people. Number one, you want to say what you do. You want to say the business name and your name, right? And so she did this for like 9 months. By the time she launched, she had 55 people that attended her grand opening. And she was like, I don't even know all these people. I said, no, but you met them along the way. You see, it's important to not just think that we don't all know everything, right? Whether it's in business, whether it's in our family, we don't know everything. We are always learning, I hope. I'm always learning. I am a habitual learner. I mean, I will read books, anything that I think is going to enhance what I know so I can serve more people, that's what I do. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm saying don't be a type of person where I know everything. I've got my degree, so I know everything. And 9 times out of 10, you may have the degree, but you don't have the experience. You don't know about the hard knocks you may run into and be able to either walk around them or go through them. So sometimes it kind of behooves you to listen at other people that may have already gone down that journey, find out what they encountered, find out the things that they might want to share with you. They want to share. They love being able to share some of the things that they did so that you don't have to go through a lot of the bumps or the struggles that they went through. I always feel that a lot of times today, people would say, oh, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. No, I think I'm ready. I mean, I just need the place and I just need to start selling. And I always say, well, good luck. and I pray and wish that they're doing well. But I think that to be practical and logical about things that you're doing, you want to always have the most important information that you can have. You want to make sure that the information that you do have that is credible. You want to be able to test out a lot of the information that you've heard so that you can perfect it, so that you don't have to maybe have a downfall. I'm not saying that business is going to be all the way up if you know everything. We don't know everything. There's always going to be a turning point where we may have to turn around and restart. And that's okay. I find so many people thinking, if I restart, people think I fail. No. It's nothing wrong with failing forward as long as you bounce right back up and keep going. You can fail forward. It's okay, right? But don't fall back and stay back. When you're walking on this journey, there's some pitfalls. You may fall. Just get right back up, assess whatever it is that happened, put some security around that or some knowledge around that so that when you encounter that maybe again, you'll have some things that you can fall back on. So being a business owner, some people say, oh, God, I would never do that. But you know what, though? It takes a person with a particular spirit to start a business. So if you know nothing else, entrepreneurship is a spirit. Some have it, some don't. I always think everybody have it. It just depends on whether you want to use it or not. But that's me. That's a beasism. So for me, I think if I can share what I've learned over these 20-some years of being in business, but also interviewing business owners, there's some things that I know that I love to share. And I do that in the community. I go out and I'll speak in the community. I have programs to help business owners in the community. And I would like to invite you, if you would like to, come and sit in this chair. Tell us about what you plan to do, what you want to do, and the things that you've already encountered. We would love to hear about that. I always have this chair open, and I thought that this would be an open invitation for you to come to the Business Connection Show. Now, we provide a lot of information, We gather a lot of information. We find out a lot about your industry. So when you come, we can share that with you as well. But we love to hear what your journey has been about. You know, what struggles, how you've sustained yourself up to this point. And we always ask if you would share with the audience anything that you learned that you would like to share about. And I think that sometimes it really is great for them because it allows them to be able to share maybe something that they went through that'll help you not be able to go through that, not to go through that particular thing. So, as I think about it, since 2014, over 700 business owners that I've interviewed. And I think about how much knowledge I've heard and I've gained from those business owners and how much they continue to bring into this chair. I feel like the chairs have history in them. And so, but yeah, so if you're thinking about it, you can simply just go to BC at thebusinessconnectionne.com. And you can say, I want to be on the show. There's a form there. You can click on that form, fill it out, and then we can schedule you to be on the show. The show runs about 26, 28 minutes, and it's an opportunity for you to take that video and put it on your website, and then for you to watch as well to see some things that you might want to do differently or things you might want to add. I always think it's important that if we can share the opportunity for a business owner to speak, that we'll learn, and we always do. So if you're thinking about it, even if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about starting a business, but you really would like to have some insight, sign up at thebusinessconnectionne.com. And we can have you in this chair telling us what you would like to do, what your desires are, and your dream. And who knows, maybe we can give you great insights on how to get started, where to get started, and provide some resources for you so that you can get started. So think about that. Now, a couple things I wanted to say. I've heard people say that they don't want a business. I don't need to do a business plan. I know my business. Understanding that business plan, when you're setting down and planning to have a business, that's when the business plan starts. Okay, so you're writing out information. You're talking about the history and why you want to do this business. What's your why? People always ask you that. You want to lay out, the description of what you plan to do in that business. You want to check out your market, your market. Who are my customers? What segments am I going to be targeting? So there's a lot in the business plan. And when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You've heard that a million times, and I can tell you it is true. I've failed. Many of us have failed. But did we stop? No. We learned what we needed to learn, and we moved forward, and we kept going. Because if you don't ever fail, you'll never learn anything. You won't. And if you stay in a comfort position, you'll never grow. So those are just BCisms from me to you. I think it's important that an individual learn as much as they can, not only about their industry, but about themselves. Who are you? Sometimes you need to know who you are, and sometimes you may not. I talk to people all the time who say, I don't know, I took this job, and everybody said I should do that. But you see, everybody is not you. So when you have labels on you, people telling you, oh, you should be a doctor, you should be a lawyer, you should go into the legal field, you should start a restaurant. That's their dream, opinions of what they think you should do. But you have to be in control of what you want to do. It's really important that you control you. Because if you don't, someone else is. So before you decide to give someone ownership of yourself, find out who you are. What's my purpose? Why am I here? Those are questions you can ask yourself. I have to tell you, I had to do that. And I wrestled with that. You know what? I'm who I am. But I had to dig deeper because a lot of times we are working out of what we've been told, what we grew up with, how we think we're supposed to be. We grew up with all that stuff. And if we don't move all that out of the way and get to the nitty gritty of who we really are, we take the wrong job, we marry the wrong person, we start a business, we do all the things that without any content, without any understanding behind it. So you have to stop and think. At some point in your life, you have to find out who you are. What is my purpose? Who am I to serve, right? We all have an assignment. And if we don't know who we are, how do we know if we're in our assignment? And I've always been told that if I find out what my purpose is and I work in that assignment, that's where joy comes from. Some peace comes out of that. Not all the time, but hey, we'll take what we take. But also, you grow in that opportunity. And so I would say to you that if I'm thinking of starting a business or even starting a family, I don't know why I went there, but don't jump into stuff. Don't just go and decide, I'm gonna just have a family. I don't really need to know anything. No, you do. How was I raised, right? Ask yourself some questions. How do I want to raise my child if I have one? How do I want to start this business? I don't know anyone that started a business before. Everybody tells me I shouldn't do it, but what do I want? I think sometimes we have to be real with ourselves and we have to put all the noise on the outside and listen at that small, still voice that's within us, telling us the right way to go, telling us what path to get on, telling us how to be successful, telling us that it's okay to make a move. We don't have to listen to all the noise that says, oh, you're never going to be anything. You blow that away. Try to surround yourself with positive thoughts, positive people, encouraging people. Don't be around people that will sap the life out of you by telling you everything they want to do in life, never letting you speak at all. Get away from those people because you'll never hear what's in you by being surrounded by all of those people. So, BC, you've told me a lot today. What should I be doing? Well, it depends on where you are. Are you at a point where you think that, hey, I need to spend some time with myself so I can figure out where I'm going, what I need to do, how I need to do it, where I need to do it? Do I need to leave town? What do I need to do? Right? That has got to come from you. I spent some time recently. I went to a different state, and I was able to bring clarity to what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I was able to hear the voice. I was able to bring clarity to where I thought I was going, which made a lot of sense to me. And I think sometimes you have to get away out of the things that you see every day so that you can begin to see something different. I always tell people, don't stay in the same environment all the time, because a lot of times you can't see something different, you don't hear anything different. But if you get out of that environment and just sometimes, if you can't leave town, go to a hotel and just spend the weekend with yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's people that do that all the time. They spend time with themselves, and you have to. Because what is it that you want to do? Do you want to be told everything? Or do you want to really take that time, that opportunity to spend with yourself, to find out what's being called for you to do? I think that a lot of times what we do, we talk ourselves out of getting to be alone with ourselves. And if that's the case, you need help. You need to just stop. Quit running from fear and just be you. So I talked about a lot of stuff today. I talked about the power of purpose. I was thanking people who have come to this show and shared a lot of the business things and some other things that they wanted to share. I'm so grateful for you guys for coming in and really, sharing your business ideas, your personal ideas, whatever it is that you want to share. It's important to me And I just want you to know that I'm really grateful that you come in to share. And for any of those that want to come in, again, BC at thebusinessconnectionne.com is my email address. You can go there. You can send me an email, or you can go to the website, which is www.thebusinessconnectionne.com. ne.com. Thebusinessconnectionne.com. This was really great, and it was an opportunity for me to not only thank the business owners that have sat in these chairs, but also for me to share with you some of the things that I think is really important. Recently, I moved positions, and I went back to my own business. I was working in the community for an organization for over almost 8 years, and it feels really good to be able to do me again, to work in my purpose and my assignment, and be able to serve the many people that God is calling me to. I'm so excited. Again, check me out, www.thebusinessconnectionne.com. I look forward to seeing you soon, either in this chair or out there networking. I'm so excited that you tuned in today, and I would just invite you to tune in next week to see my guests that will be here. It won't be an empty chair. All right? Again, BC Clark with The Business Connection, www.thebusinessconnectionne.com. And stay safe. Watch your surroundings. Be careful at what you do. Love people. Don't hate. Okay? These are things that you can do without anybody telling you. This is stuff that we learn. And just love yourself. Love yourself. I love me. Say, I love me. I love me. And I love you. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care of yourself and watch the show. BC at thebusinessconnectionne.com. I'll talk to you soon.